Soccer fans these days have it so easy. Because I remember back in them days when we had to rely on KBC radio. Yeah, whenever there was a very important game, the person would have to rely on is one Leonard Mambo Mbotela. And indeed we were grateful because it was better than nothing. But I want to describe some frustrations which came in. Yeah, and they were very common in those days. You are sitting there, you are listening, attentively following the game. Fulani na mpira, amepiga pass kwa fulani, fulani anaangalia huku na kule, anarusha pass hapa, and then suddenly without any warning as the commentary is going on, first of all you hear loud cheers in the stadium. And then Leonard Mabo says, "Goal!" Okay, a goal has been scored. But you want to know how this goal was scored. What happened? Who scored the goal? Leonard Mambo Mbotela will keep you in suspense for 5 minutes or more. Yeah? The cheers will go on, you'll hear Leonard Mambo saying, kusema kweli wananchi, hiyo ni bao, kusema kweli wananchi. 5 minutes of that. A very far cry from today, yeah, where soccer fans have instant replay. Yeah, you can see exactly how the move was built up, how the goal was scored, who missed a tackle where, who was out of position. Everything is there on the screen. Instant replay. Okay, a very far cry. But having said that, Leonard Mambo is a great Kenyan. Yeah, I'm not trying to criticize him. I'm just pointing to the frustrations of the time. Now, something exactly like that has just happened on the political scene. Yeah, people have been looking here and there. Fulani amepatia mpira, amepigia fulani mpira. Then suddenly, there's a goal. What happened? How was this goal scored? I'm of course talking about the latest overturn. Overturn. Now recently we have learned that there are going to be more than 3. So I don't know if this is the second or the third. But ladies and gentlemen, yesterday we witnessed an overturn. It only makes sense that we come back to the spiritual at the end of the politics. Yeah, when we have told you exactly what went down, what has happened, so that we can qualify this overturn. Okay? Now, this casual statement we had yesterday, yeah, by the 2 leaders, when they said we are going to work together. Whoa. That statement was pregnant with meaning. The first very huge clue, yeah, that I managed to get out of this. Now, you remember yesterday I told you, I talked about the protocol guys being very much in charge and making sure things are in order, yeah? Now, the 2 leaders signed an 8-page deal, 8-page communique, or whatever you want to call it, okay? That means that things in Kenya will never be the same again. This 8-page document, now this should be news, welcome news for those NASA people who have been grumbling here and there. Now that 8-page document addressed all NASA demands, all. Electoral justice, of course, which cannot happen without an independent judiciary, yeah, etc., etc. Now my point is, throughout this 8-page document, yeah, Raila Odinga is not referred to as the Right Honorable. Yeah, that's the right title they use in official government documents. Yeah, because he's a former prime minister. He was not referred to as Right Honorable at all. In each and every instance without fail, he was referred to as His Excellency. Folks, that was on the document. Okay? Now, I do not want to make any wild sweeping statements. Okay? So let's just leave that alone. Okay? We'll soon find out. Soon this communique will be made public, and everybody will be able to study it point by point by point. But for now, let's look at the political reality. Okay? This agreement was between Uhuru Kenyatta. Okay? Uhuru Kenyatta represents a certain X number of Kenyans. Okay? And then we have Raila Odinga, who represents Y number of Kenyans. Now, the vast majority of Kenyans believe that Y is much larger than X. Yeah, some say on a factor of 3 to 1. Okay? But let's not get into the semantics. The bottom line is that Raila Odinga represents a very large portion of the Kenyan population. Okay, not just Luo Nyanza, a very large portion of the Kenyan population. So in terms of power, without getting into arguments about numbers, Raila Odinga would have the same powers under this new working arrangement as Uhuru Kenyatta has. Now I appreciate the fact that Kenyans have been fed propaganda for years, and Kenyans have been given a certain mindset that for you to have power in Kenya, you need state machinery. If that were true, I put it to you, Uhuru Kenyatta would never have made the deal he made yesterday. There'd have been no need, because what would have happened is that Uhuru Kenyatta would have used state machinery to solve the country's economic problems. He'd have used state machinery to bring unity into the country. He'd have used state machinery to end political stalemate. He'd have just used state machinery to do and achieve everything he wants. Indeed, he'd have used state machinery to feed the country. Okay? Indeed, this is a very clear example and indication and illustration of the fact that state machinery is nothing without the power of the people. Without the people, nothing moves, nothing happens. You put yourself in Uhuru's shoes for a minute, You're trying to govern a country and a vast majority of the country are not with you. How do you do it? It just can't be done. And so, while you're still in Uhuru's shoes, the answer was simple. The only way to get things happening is to bring all the people on board. And the only way to bring all the people on board, is to make a deal with that one person who holds sway with a very large proportion of the population of Kenya. Now, the impression I get from many of the comments I've seen on social media, they imply that Raila Odinga is slow, that Raila Odinga is probably senile, and that you'd probably be tricked into an agreement whereby NASA end up with nothing. The vast majority of Kenyans end up with nothing. Indeed, I've seen comments, why were we not consulted? Why didn't Raila consult the people? Now, I don't hold any brief for Raila Odinga, but let us cut some slack to this long-suffering freedom fighter for Kenya. Okay? When you choose a leader, the reason you choose a leader is that you leave them to make certain decisions for you. You do not choose a leader so that you micromanage them. You do not choose a leader so that every decision they make, they have to get back to you. No way. This is why the leader gives you his policies, his thinking, his direction, so that when you elect him, he can take all of us in that direction, which he has told us he wants to take us. My advice to the skeptical, give these guys another 2 weeks. Give Raila Odinga 2 weeks, and then let's see what is in that agreement with Uhuru Kenyatta. Okay? And you can be sure that I'll be the first person to blow the whistle, in case Kenyans have been conned. Now, the truth is, even assuming that Raila Odinga is senile, we had Junet Mohammed there. We had his lawyer Paul Mwangi there. Okay? So the issue of being tricked into an agreement or into signing a legal paper that will sign off the vast majority of Kenyans, that is absolutely unlikely. Indeed, not possible in this case. Now, the crux of this deal, which many Kenyans are very eager to know about, the crux of this deal is that an office, let's just call it an office, was established, which was supposed to be set up by Paul Mwangi, Raila Odinga's lawyer, and Ambassador Martin Kimani. I believe he's the current head of the counterterrorism unit. Okay, these two gentlemen are supposed to set up that office that will implement what the two leaders agreed on. The office will ensure that everything is implemented to the letter. Now, to implement a lot of these things, naturally legal framework will be required. And the only way to get a legal framework in Kenya is to go to Parliament. So we should expect a flurry of bills in Parliament that will change the laws, will tinker our laws, so that the objectives of the two leaders are fully met. And especially the objectives of the vast majority of Kenyans. Now, if you can take your eyes away from state machinery for a second, let me just explain the full political impact of this agreement. Now, we have already agreed that the only reason Uhuru Kenyatta went into this agreement with his rival, was so as to get the vast majority of Kenyans on board. Now, I'm sure both leaders realize that you cannot get the vast majority of Kenyans on board simply by telling Raila Odinga to instruct them. No, we have passed that level where we're going to follow somebody blindly. And so the only way to be able to get the vast majority of Kenyans on board is to do what the vast majority of Kenyans want. It's as simple as that. In other words, what you want must be at the top of the agenda for this thing to work. Those are the first things they must tackle. Those are the first bills that must go to Parliament for this thing to work. Because if the vast majority of people don't have faith in it, it won't work. It's as simple as that. Now, what Kenyans have going for them is that there's massive political pressure, especially on Raila Odinga. Uhuru Kenyatta's got his own pressures, but in my view, Raila Odinga has got more pressures. The pressure weighing down on him is much more, because people want change yesterday. People want reforms last week, People want things to happen like instant coffee. And then we have NRM. For you to be able to appease NRM so that they know the objectives are being met, that's a very tall order. And so the long and short of what I'm trying to say is that whatever agreement was passed yesterday will be implemented at rapid fire high speed. There's really no other way to work. Mark my words, there's no other way to work. That's the only way. And so, folks, brace yourself for a lot of shocks, surprises, twists and turns from the two excellencies, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta and His Excellency Raila Odinga. That title is now official. It's being quoted in government documents. Documents coming out of the office of the President of the Republic of Kenya are calling Raila Odinga His Excellency. So that's really what it must be. Now, in the next episode of this series, we shall abandon Kizungu Mingi and note, in very simple language, what Kenyans should expect in the next few days, weeks, and months as a result of this agreement. Don't miss it. You know the usual drill. Click on the link on your top left-hand corner and you'll be there in a jiffy. This is Chris Kumekucha.